Welcome back to Tucson RV Solar on site at customer's house. You can see Todd heavy at it. And today, just a simple solar install. Putting it on the Super C, a Seneca by Jayco 37TS. Super nice Super C. So 1200 watts of solar that Todd's putting together right now. For these, the biggest thing we need to know is it pre-wired? And this one is, but we're still going to test that and make sure it actually works. Because there's been a rash of problems with pre-wire lately. And then, where's it going to go and how we're going to move it through there. So we've got his battery bank right here, a bunch of AGM batteries, and pre-wire is right up in here. You can see the pre-wire coming down from the roof, and we're going to run that and tie in the rest of the system. So should be able to put our solar controller right there, and then the hole that's already made, we can run our wires that are going to go into the battery bank. Plenty of room in here. We'll actually put our solar PV disconnect from the roof right here, and then our breaker to protect the 2-gauge wire coming out of the bigger solar controller right there. And then just connect it up to the batteries. And one thing that's always super helpful, especially on a job like this, is to pre-do everything you possibly can before you get into that small space. So the pre-wire from the roof is going to enter right here. This is where we'll put it sideways. And then the breaker can disconnect the panels from the roof. That's going to go into the PV for the solar charge controller, and then output to the battery. Could do 85 amps, so we're using 2-gauge cable and coming out going through our 100 amp breaker that's protecting this cable, and then the other ends are going to connect into his battery bank. So pre-done as much as we possibly could now, so now we can go tie it into the system. So here we are with them fully installed. So you see our breaker in place, it's on. We're already producing plenty of wattage. His battery's almost full already. So we jumped at 600 at 10 o'clock in the morning and immediately went down because they're full. We've got our breaker against the wall from battery to the controller, taking care of those cables, and then our solar disconnect here. Nice, clean, tidy. Definitely kept all his room for storage. All right, so here we are up on the roof. We got our 1200 watts in series parallel. So we got these 3 panels in series, these 3 panels in series, and then paralleled right there on the roof as it went in. One thing we learned on this one is that some parallel connectors are better than others. So these are a little bit more expensive, made for 8-gauge cable, good for 40 amps. Some of the knockoff branch connectors, we use a set of those and we actually weren't getting parallel. So always important to check your current flow on both strings all the way down to the controller that they're working before you turn it over for use. But super straight, super clean, another happy customer.